So, as you can see from this area, from like here, probably until the end of that house right there, was all empty plot. Like, my mom had the little she shed, the little 5x5 she shed was like in the back right there. There was like a little playground, and then this small, short building. That was just the daycare that she used to run. And let's start the story off there, right? My mom had a daycare called Lillian's Princes and Princesses. It was a daycare in the front and a tax office in the back. You know, she found this plot of land. She's like, you know what, I'm just gonna build a tax office for my husband in the back. So 2 months before I was born, my dad passes away. So now my mom's working both the daycare and the tax office. So with a 2-year-old and a baby on the way.
My earliest memory of music would have to be when I was younger. I had this pink and blue radio. My sister and I both had matching ones, and I think we used to grab like the radio and just play Rihanna over and over and over. And I think when I started to like learn the lyrics off head from that radio, I would just like sing it and people would go, "You can sing."
We're in Charlotte. We're probably about 20 minutes, I'd say, from the inner city line. I was born here in Charlotte, North Carolina, born and raised. When my mom got sick around 10 or so, we went to Nigeria.
It was a turning point that she was like, you know what? And I want you to know where you come from. Prior to that, she kind of like raised us in the American way. So we had never been exposed to our culture and like really learn our roots.
4 years later, she died, passed away in Nigeria. So we were kind of just like there, like, were we gonna just like be here now? Again, that was the first time we had ever been in Nigeria, but it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, I was 14, there's nowhere to go. It's just, we're with family, so that's where we kind of have to be. I stayed in Nigeria for 6 years. I was in Makurdi, Benue State. I do feel connected to the place, because again, that was where I spent my teenage years, but I always felt like I was too American to be there. By the time I got back, I was too African to be here, so it was just, I'm kind of just somewhere in the middle, just like hanging out, waiting till somebody understands. Being like constantly jolted and like moved from place to place, and then all of a sudden I'm in a new space where it's a cultural difference, like it's completely different from what I knew before. When I was in Nigeria, I have adopted this new Nigerian way, you know, learning these new ideas, these new cultures. And then by the time I got older, you know, 6 years later, I'm 16 now, I'm coming back to America. Like, I'm gonna be a senior in high school now, you know, thinking that I've got it together, I figured it out. But fast forward, I'm 22 years old, and it's just like somewhere in the middle, not really belonging to either. It is a beautiful privilege that I have to have one foot in both doors, I would like to say. But it is a little different than just belonging to one space. When I went to my aunt and my family in Nigeria, and they were like, just read, just study, just marry. Just read, just study, just marry. Like, I was like, no. My mom literally told me that I could do anything. Why do I have to read, study, and marry? Like, those are the farthest things from what I was taught. I carry that with me. It's funny because I didn't have that much time with her, because like I was 10 when she got sick. And then like by the time my brain was like, okay, let me ask questions, she couldn't really give me answers. I remember there was like days where we couldn't leave our house because she couldn't see or remember to get us out, but which is funny because she still would remember to feed us. Because like when I think about it, I'm not really mad because she was sick for so long, that sometimes it's just, sorry, sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. This was the hardest part, I swear. I just really didn't want to like cry when she was a lot stronger than me, obviously. So I just really, sorry.
it was a lot easier, I think, for us to get through those moments because we were surrounded by so many people who were trying to help us. When she was sick for so long that me and my sister were just like, it's just like, it's kind of hard to watch someone die, but I don't want to say it makes things easier, but it's easier to come to terms with it because you've kind of been grieving for a longer time.
When me and my sister came back from Nigeria, we were like, you know what, we're just gonna go into her business and, use what we can to figure out how we can, afford to live on our own.
That was what me and my sister used to set ourselves up to go to school for college and put ourselves on the market so that we actually had a shop.
And so now I'm here. We went ham 4 hours of recording music, which was totally amazing. Honestly, I've never experienced anything quite like that. So I think it was so great for me to have people around me and in this space helping me create this vision. What inspired my version song, Lucky, is a conversation that I was having with my sister. We were talking about the ways that our trauma had shaped us.
I am not a victim, I am not your friend. Try to take it all and make me pretend. You put me in a bracket, tell them I am reckless. Stopping me again and again and again and again. I am not a victim, I am not your friend. Try to take it all and make me pretend. You put me in a bracket, tell them I am reckless. Stopping me again and again and again and again and again like.
It's hard to look at somebody's trauma and depict how they're supposed to react. You look at me and you see the things that I've been through and you might think that it was light work, the way that I handle it or the way that I make it look. But everybody is entitled to whatever they feel makes them whole. And I think that to just look at someone, no matter what the situation is, and just tell them that their thing is easy and they should just get over it. Such a lucky thing to be able to say. So that's what lucky is for me.
How lucky are you? How lucky are you to survive my horror? How lucky are you? How lucky are you to survive my trauma? Hoping I'm alone, hoping I'm alone, hoping I'm alone in my darkest hour. You should have known that I'd never be alone.
I think that my mother would be proud of the person that I have become, mainly because she pushed me to just try everything that I saw. There wasn't a thing that I couldn't do or a mistake that I made that was too big or too bad. There was always something else that I could try. There was always somewhere else that I could go. She taught me to be hopeful. I think she would think that it was great that I was doing something that made me happy, and she would be proud that I'm finally allowing myself to be messy, to be full in my creative range.